Anna Rosa, we're delighted to be having a chat to Namibia's first youngest chartered accountant. Welcome. Thanks for sharing your story with us.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Great to have you. So tell us, as Namibia's youngest chartered accountant, why did you decide to choose this profession?
Well, I used to love accounting. I've been doing accounting since grade 8 and I really liked it a lot. And then I actually started doing my research, found out all the benefits and the perks of the profession, did my job shadowing, and I think I finally concluded that I want to do accounting. I don't think there's any other career that offers as many job opportunities in different industries as the profession does.
Okay. And was there someone in particular that inspired you into this profession?
Well, I wouldn't really say someone. I think it's mainly my love for accounting, but also I do come from a family of accountants, not chartered accountants, but accountants, and I think that subconsciously inspired my decision to become a chartered accountant.
You mentioned hard work was one of the things that goes into being an accountant. What was the process like to study to become a chartered accountant?
Wow, it was really long and difficult. I think it was a lot more difficult than I expected. I don't know what I expected, but not that difficult. And I think it's rightfully so, though, because being a chartered accountant is one of the most prestigious things in the world. So it shouldn't be easy. You know what they say? Anything worth having is difficult. No, nothing worth having is easy. So I think it's a 7-year progress. It's a very rigorous process. It consists of exams and working hard and deadlines. So it's very difficult, but worth it.
Okay, how did you keep yourself going with all of that stress of the studying process?
I think the most important for me was that I really wanted it. It wasn't because of this or this. It's something that I was passionate about, and I'm also very self-motivated. So once I decide to do something, I pull through and I follow through with it.
Very good, and that's how you get anything done in life, right?
Yes, definitely.
Where do you think the prestige of this career comes from?
I think it's mainly because there's finance. Like every industry, every business has a finance aspect to it, and where there's finance, where there's money involved, you need somebody who's specialized when it comes to these kind of things, and that's where it comes from. Yeah, I think it's that.
Okay, an important cornerstone career.
And the fact that you're doing a lot of things, you're all over the place. You're doing auditing, you're doing tax, you're doing finance, you're doing accounting. So you're basically all in one.
Okay, it's a multi-skilled.
Yes, a multi-skilled profession.
Tell me, what was it like when you became the youngest chartered accountant in Namibia? What did that feel like?
Well, I always kind of knew that I would be, because I did my calculations, and because I started school early. I was 5 years old when I started school, so I knew if I get everything right and if I don't repeat any year, I am going to be the youngest. So it was like, okay, it happened, and I was like, oh, okay, but I knew it was going to happen, so it wasn't as exciting, and everybody goes on about it, and I'm like, oh, okay.
It's just one of the steps along the way.
Yes.
But the response that you got, I'm sure that was great, that feeling when people supported you in your success of being the youngest chartered accountant.
Yes, definitely. Mainly my family, they can't get over it. But yes, I don't really talk about it much. Only people talk about it, and then they remind me. So I'm a little bit indifferent about being the youngest. I'm more hyped up about being a CA at all, because it was a difficult journey, and there were times where I thought I wasn't going to get here.
But here you are now. What would you say is the value of this profession, the most important value in this profession?
I think job security, being, especially with this economy, the current recession Namibia is facing, there are a lot of people that are being retrenched, a lot of people that are just not sure whether they're going to have a job in the next year. Whereas for us, it's very unlikely and very rare to hear of a chartered accountant that's been retrenched. If anything, they need more chartered accountants. So I think it's that, and being able to, knowing that I'm part of like I'm one of a world sort of the qualification, I have a lot of leverage. So I think it's the leverage that you have as well as the job security.
Okay, which is very important things to have.
Yes.
What are the challenges of this profession?
I think it's primarily the deadlines, having to work super hard all the time, and then the high expectations from everybody, because you need to deliver stuff. Your work needs to be up to a certain standard.
And the highs?
Well, I think, like I said, having the leverage, knowing that you can go to any country in the world and knowing that you could have a job there, and the security, and because we go through a rigorous process, world-class training, we know that we are high-class professionals. And then also knowing that I can contribute to the economic growth of the country. You know, as the world emerges and the markets evolve and grow, it's becoming more important to contribute positively to the growth of Namibia.
Absolutely beautiful. What would you say was the single most important piece of business advice that you ever received, Anna Rosa?
Yeah, I don't know if this counts as business advice per se, but I would say save. Save as much as you can, save as young as you can. And probably also try to have more than one stream of income.
Okay, some good advice. Thanks for that. Would you advise others to pursue a career in accounting?
Yes, definitely. It is worth it. But however, I would caution people against studying towards this profession for the wrong reasons. Because you do find people that do it because they want to make money or do it because of job security or so and so. But you need to have a passion for it. You need to really want it because it is a difficult process. I mean, for us with a passion, we struggled as well. So I can only imagine doing it for the wrong reasons.
Absolutely. What would your advice be to someone who is doing it for the right reasons, is passionate, but is just starting out in the process?
I would advise them to be resilient, to work hard, to always look at the end goal and know that as much as you might fall here and there, it's not how you fall, but it's not where you fell, but how you got up that matters.
Absolutely. That's great advice for anyone in life.
Yes, so it's quite generic.
Is it something that you need to do in school, maths, accounting, etc., to pursue a field in a career in accounting?
No, actually just maths. I think a lot of professions, you just need maths and English, especially when you're heading towards the logical and analytical thinking. Accounting is not necessary. Fortunately for most people who haven't done accounting, it's just like an added bonus, but it really doesn't make too much of a difference when you get to university. So yeah, maths and English.
Okay, good to know. And somebody who's in the middle of their career, what would your advice be to keep on going through all the difficulties that you just explained to us, as there are quite a few?
I think a lot of people in university, especially when you're entered towards your third and fourth year, that's where you start to specialize more, and that's where people start struggling a lot more and start having second thoughts about their career. But I think you always need to sit back and ask yourself, why am I doing this? And once you have that and know why you're doing it, it makes it a little bit easier to pull that all-nighter to study till 5 a.m. and so forth. So I just think, go back to the drawing board, ask yourself why you're doing it, and take it from there.
Okay, great. What was the thing that you did to get yourself through the difficulties towards the end of your studies? Did you have goals written out and things like that?
Yes, I had a goal board. Every day I needed like a lot more than just one motivation. So every day something came up, I wrote it down. I think at the end of the year I had about 50 items, 50 reasons as to why I need to pass and why I want to pass. And I think that's ultimately what led me to passing, because I'd wake up in the morning and then I'd read it and I'd be like, okay, I'm good to go.
Let's keep on going. Yes. Anna Rosa, what would you say that you have learned about life by being in this profession?
I've learned that I've learned the importance of hard work and resilience. I've learned that you don't have to be the smartest person. All you have to be is the most hardworking person, because especially if you have if you combine the talent and hard work, you can be great. Whereas if you have talent but not hard work, you are really not going to go anywhere in life. As well as resilience, to fall and to keep getting up, fall, keep getting up, because that is the profession. That's the 7 years of your life. Is you are going to fail so many times, or more times than you're used to. But yeah.
But keep on going. It's some good advice for life, because in general we are afraid of failure as human beings. But if we don't fail, we don't learn how to be better.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, there we go. What would your message be to others considering a career in accounting?
I would say that instead of because a lot of people like accounting, they like numbers, but then they stick with just accounting, basic accounting. But I feel that if you are gonna do it, why not just go the full length? Why not just completely specialize? Because there's so much more that comes with being a CA, being a world-class professional and such a prestigious profession in the whole world. I mean, you could go anywhere in the world and say you're a chartered accountant, and it's a big deal. and especially the qualification that we have, we linked with ICAN, which is then one of the highest accredited chartered accounting professions, accreditations in the world. I would suggest, go for it because you're opening so many more doors for yourself. So, yeah, why not get chartered accountancy?
Absolutely, why not? And one of the things that you didn't expect about this field, the surprise when you became a chartered accountant and started working as a chartered accountant, what surprised you?
I think I always thought that I would work hard for 7 years, and then when the 7 years, once I'm a CA, life gets a little easier, and I get to go home at like 5 or 6 or 7 at least. But I think the sad surprise was that, it doesn't end there. This is the career you chose, and hard work starts now.
Okay. Okay, and then in which case, how do you keep yourself going then now? Now you're not studying, now you're working. What are the tools that you use to keep yourself motivated when life is hard and you've already qualified, you've already reached this goal? What's next?
I think I speak to a lot of different people that are in my fields, people that are in other fields, people that work hard, and I found that a lot of people that, like I've asked, for example, Ali Angola, the previous partner of KPMG, and she told me that at this age you shouldn't expect to be sleeping early, you shouldn't expect to be partying. This is the most crucial part about your career, is you need to work hard and you need to expect to sleep well. So I think that really helped me, and to encourage me and to push, because I know eventually it's not going to be like this forever. Eventually I am going to be able to go home at 6 o'clock. So I'm just looking forward to that, pushing my way through it.
That's beautiful, but it's great advice for life, because in any career you need to put in the hard work to get there, although we don't always want to.
Yes.
But it's great advice to put in the hard work so that you can reap the rewards later on.
Yes.
And there are many rewards in this profession.
Yes,
correct?
definitely, yes.
What's your favorite one?
I think my salary at the end of the day.
It's a good reward.
Yes, being able to buy mostly what I want. So yeah, that's nice.
Fantastic. Anything else you'd like to share with us on the profession of accounting?
I can't really think of anything else. I think you've covered it. All.
Okay, great. Anything else you'd like to share with the listeners?
I think if you are passionate about something, anything in life, I think you should work hard, push for it, and ignore all the external noise and just focus on it and go for it. The world's your oyster.
Exactly, it is. Thank you so much, Anna Rosa, for coming to inspire us with your story and your successes, and we wish you so much success going forward.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome.